Welcome back. You're watching Friday Briefing on KTN News, and we're getting to that part where we speak to our guest anchors. And tonight, we have heard him and listened to him for quite some time on radio, most predominantly, or do I say most really loudly, on Classic FM. But now he has joined Radio Maisha. There is Nick Odhiambo, who is a radio presenter, a living legend, I would say. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
You're very nice to look at.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Should I take that as a compliment?
Oh, it's a compliment.
When you just say nice, what
that
am I
means
supposed to say?
You're very beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks,
welcome.
Nick. So, everybody has been asking the question of, after quite some time working with the same radio station,
Yes.
you've decided to move on. But before we get into that, would like to know who exactly is Nick Odhiambo, because I know, I've done radio before, but people tend to think they know you, but they don't really know who you are. So tell us a little bit more about Nick Odhiambo, the person.
Nick Odhiambo is a tall, dark, handsome, master appreciator of fine things in life.
Okay.
Collector of all things nice, Mercedes, brown girls, nice whiskeys, watches.
Wow.
The list is endless. I have a sense of humor and I'm very happy.
Yeah. Are you happy today?
Oh, especially around pretty girls. We can have a blast.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm a radio presenter. I'm a voiceover artist. I think I'd say I'm the king of voice acting.
I think
All
so,
hail
yeah.
the king!
There's a character in the Penguins of Madagascar who sounds
King Julian.
exactly...
Oh,
No, he's called Kowalski or something like that.
Kowalski.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice cartoon.
All right. So where were you born? Where did you grow up?
I was born in Nairobi, Mater Hospital.
Okay, all right.
Before you confuse and say I was born in Pangani Hospital, no, you must be very exact. So
All right.
I've grown mostly in Nairobi. My dad was a diplomat, so he went around the world a bit for like maybe 8-9 years. Then we settled back in Nairobi and then lived happily ever after.
Okay.
I'm now turning 37 in about 3-4 weeks.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Wow. So you grew up here, were born here, everything here? You went to school here as
Yeah,
well?
predominantly.
Okay, that's all the way from primary school into campus?
Yeah, till
University.
high school.
Oh, great. So what was it like for you growing up? Did you always want to be a radio presenter, or did you just have a change of mind along the way?
When I was about, 15, 16, 1996, my cousin was a radio presenter, and then our FM had started, and we started Capital FM.
Yeah.
So my cousin became a radio presenter, and then I used to listen to all these people who are now legends, and I was like, wow, I want to do that. Just sit and talk about music and for 3-4 hours and call it a day. Women call in and just, hi, how was your day, sweetie? Don't worry. Everything will be all right. Oh, thank you, Nick.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, this has got to be me one day. And here I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at what point or what year, if you remember, did you actually join radio, or did you make the decision to join radio?
So, like after high school, I was in high school and the dream started. So
Yeah.
I tried and tried and tried. And then finally, I was given the job like 6 years later.
People say they tried and tried and tried, but
Oh,
they
I
probably
tried.
went to 2 radio stations and then that was it.
Like there you go and leave from Jobo.
Yeah.
I'd take leave from going to radio station. I was like, I think I'm going to take a 2-week break. Then start afresh.
Right.
So I did that for 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You go for voice tests every weekend, you rest, you go, and then finally the day I was told you have the job. In fact, I was hitting the boss like, you're playing with me.
What station was that?
Capital, Classic 105.
Oh,
I've
so
been
you
there,
actually started there.
yeah, from day one.
Did you ever cross and then come back,
No,
come
I've
back?
been there for 10.5 years.
Amazing. What's the experience been like from the time you joined radio? Did you always find it as easy as you always thought when your cousin was doing radio and you're like, oh, so you just pick calls and then say hey and then play
no.
music and What was it like for you?
The first day I was told, now you're a radio presenter, say something. Where? I froze. All the things I wanted to say just when I was like, let's do this another day. Like, talk, people are waiting to hear you. In fact, a friend of his sent him a text and said, who is that? Get him off the radio.
Oh, wow.
I almost cried, but men don't cry. Yeah.
Really? In what world? In this one?
No, in
I think
the
men do
African.
cry.
Yeah, why would you cry? So that was how day one was. Then I was given a show. You know that I'm projecting my voice now.
Yeah.
So when you wear headphones and you talk, you'd feel like
You
you're
feel like
talking
it's so
really
loud.
loudly.
Yeah.
But the girls from the family were like, Nick, you are whispering. I was like, wow, this is hard. Yeah, but eventually I got the hang of it, and then now it's been 10 years.
Right. So in radio, they always have, this thing of when they put you on the morning show, you're probably one of the bubbly people. When they put you past midnight, you're probably one of the soft-spoken love doctors in radio and stuff. Did you start in the morning? Did you start in mid-morning,
Hey,
afternoon,
morning is a
evening?
promotion.
Yeah?
You start a graveyard shift. I think I used to do, the first days it was 10, midnight to maybe 2 or 10 to midnight, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, where you can do all your mistakes and then you're given a proper show.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're bound to do mistakes. A lot.
What has radio taught you?
How to communicate with people, how to keep people engaged. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
What would you like to hear? That's what I learned.
Okay. So you have, radio is different from television, I would say, because on radio, people get so personal because if they get attached to listening to a specific person time and time again, they sort of create a relationship.
Yeah, like a bond.
Like a virtual relationship, it's imaginative until they actually meet the person. What has been some of the greatest lessons you have had in radio and the challenging bits? Who are the most difficult listeners to deal with in radio?
Now, I wouldn't say that there's a difficult person to deal with. I mean, if someone is your fan, you just learn to appreciate them based on how you interact with them. Until now you meet them in person, then you find there's a psycho, there's a person who just loves you, that humble person. So you get to meet a mix of them. You understand?
Yeah.
But I love it, especially when you meet the girls who are in love with you. I'm like, yes, come hapa. You know what I mean?
There was a time you were, I think for quite some time actually, you were co-hosting a radio show with Shiko.
Yes.
What was it like to co-host with someone as opposed to solo hosting a show?
The thing with hosting with someone is it's easy to banter off each other.
Yeah.
So like if you come up with a great story or it's a joke and then we get to a punchline, then you add on to it, it makes for a great conversation. But if you come up with a story on your own, then maybe you lose track of your idea and then it hits a dead end in the middle there. Where? That's how people tune into another station and they might never get them back.
Wow. And then when it's solo, you think that do you sometimes struggle and say, gosh, what are we talking about tomorrow?
In the beginning, but I guess after some time you get the hang of it and then you know what to do.
Do you ever wake up and say, and maybe a topic hits you while you're in the studio, while you had prepared for something else?
Yeah,
How do you go about
you
it?
prep for the show.
Yeah.
Then if something better comes up, you can keep that for tomorrow, but you already prepared, as opposed to just going in and saying, something nice will happen, and I'll go with it.
All right.
Yeah.
So who are your favorite listeners? Who do you most feel at home with? Because there are some listeners who are in it for the music, and then there are those who are in it for the content. So who are you?
I like the people in it for the content.
Yeah.
Then the music just peppers it, because others are loyal. They actively tune in. Like, wow, Nick is on now, let's go. You understand?
Yeah.
Because someone, if it's music, they hear a bad song, they look for a nice song elsewhere.
Some people say, radio is hard because if you have to do a show for 4 hours, it's actually difficult to keep the audience in, tuning in and listening in,
There's a science to it, sort of. So, like, if it's 4 hours, some stations would have, like, talk breaks, maybe 5 talk breaks per hour. So there's some commercial content, there's some commentaries,
Yeah.
and some interaction. So you just have to think and visualize. It's like now that you're doing news, at a certain point it's the headlines, then A, B, C, D, then now Nick, then do you still do weather forecast? No.
Well,
That's old school.
you should try that. You should try the weather.
Yeah, we'll do that at some point.
Yeah. So you said there's a science to it in radio, but then again, times have changed. There's technology all over the place. We have all these social media platforms, and radio now is actually, in a way, looking at it as an opportunity, but it's also a bit of a challenge because now you have everyone has all of a sudden become a radio presenter because they get onto a YouTube channel and they're like, hey, listen to me. This is what I have to say. I'm going to play some music for you as well. So, how are you, as people in radio, trying to make sure there's a bit of a balance that you're reaching out to the guys online, but at the same time keeping people tuned in to the radio stations?
Well, I guess you try and adopt to technology. So now that we're going digital, you'd have to do your Instagrams. And since I joined, I've realized, oh, here people take photos. Eh? Ay, 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 ay. So, so today I've taken maybe 3 selfies. I'm like, ooh, I'll get the hang of it.
Yeah.
So I guess with that, and then, we do videos and everything. So you get the guys who are online to also come to the radio. So in your car, you'd listen to Radio Maisha, for example. You get? Yeah, so just trying to incorporate everything.
Is it taxing? Because I think before, all you had to do, I don't know about, there's some who would actually really do the DJing in the studio. But I'm thinking that today's radio presenter has a software that they use to play music, to play the ads and all that. And, then it was probably easier but then now you have to look at the online audience, you have to satisfy them as well, and then look into, working as well, playing the music, doing the content and everything. Is it taxing?
Not really. It's because it's 4 hours, so you get to have like a pattern of how you do things.
Yeah.
You get, so you prep, this is what I'm going to say. Then you've got the Twitter and everything. You incorporate them in your links. It's not as hard as it sounds, but if you're a beginner, you will feel like it's the hardest thing you ever did.
Right.
Yeah.
Where do you think the future of radio is?
Wow, that's hard to say. People are saying things are dying. People are going online, watching things online, listening to things online. But radio will still be there for some time because all cars come with a radio.
All right.
TVs on that should be worried.
TV should be worried? Really? Really?
By the time we do news at 9, we already got all this news during the day. They're like, okay, let's just...
It's the same thing with radio. We have news, every top of
but
the
you
hour.
see now there, at that particular point, it's live. Yours is scheduled at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah. But now I think we have 24-hour news, just like KTN News,
Yes.
So we're always up to bit, with what's going on. But then, when you look at what's going on in the entire world, you sort of feel like everything is taking the technology sort of trend.
Yes.
Have you ever thought that you could also auto-tune your presentations?
No. You need to listen to Nick Odhiambo in person.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
There's no two ways about it.
So there are always people who meet you, and when they meet you, they're like, oh, so this is you? This is what you look like? This is Nick?
Some people get really surprised, like, wow, I didn't know you're this handsome. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. All
Let me
right.
tell you a messed up story. The day I think someone had had me on the radio.
Yeah.
And so I was leaving the compound, and then these chicks were like, they whisper at each other, and they look at me. So I opened the window, and I looked at them. I was waiting for them to compliment me. Then they called me this other character who is normally, I think, on Daktari, the guy with dreadlocks.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I probably wouldn't tell
ugly
you.
guy. I just closed my window. So I started losing weight because I was fat like him at that particular point.
Okay. Okay. So do you see a reflection of yourself when you actually look at certain people as well?
When I look at Craig David, I can see like we kind of look alike. Look at you. What do you want me to say?
All right, Craig David, I'll take that. I'll just take that. All right. So 10 years with Classic FM,
Yes.
and then you decide to make a move.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I've done it for 10 and a half years, and then sometimes you sit down and you think, like, the last 1.5 months, some things happen in my life, and I'm like, wow, I know I'm not going to start life again,
Yeah.
but I can start my life afresh. Am I making sense?
Yeah. You are.
So then, coincidentally, I get a call, I come for the interview, I talk to Alex, I'm like, but you guys speak in Swahili. Like, yeah, the other guys come, like, they only came once. Your dad has been here 3 times. I'm like, really? But I speak in English. Like, I don't know. So when I was offered, I was like, these guys are playing with this. I was getting a contract, like, ooh, I guess they've seen something I don't know about myself. So and then I went and resigned.
Yeah.
And here we are. The home
You make
of
it sound
photos.
so easy, like it was just a walkover. You know, everything was so smooth when you're doing this.
No, no, wow, you sleep on it, you think about it.
Yeah,
And like, you know what? You only live once. Let's try and speak in Swahili.
right.
Yeah.
Are you that good?
Oh, crap. I can only make like one or two sentences. So
Yeah, because I saw you in the promo, the promo that's running on television,
Yes.
where you actually were speaking Swahili. So do you mind introducing a Swahili bulletin per se to us?
Mpendwa msikilizaji, unaisikiliza KTN News nami Nick Odhiambo. Jungane nasi baada ya dakika chache.
It's Tazama.
What did I say? Oh, unaisikiliza?
Yeah.
Maybe someone is looking away from the TV. So I was considering that.
Okay.
Yes.
Go on.
Uh, that's it.
All right. So how is it now? Because I'm thinking then maybe you've co-hosted with different people.
Yeah.
You've done it with Larry.
Yeah, Larry most recently.
And then now you've moved on to do it with Alex
Yes.
on a morning show. Are there any differences you've noticed in terms of audience and things like that?
Alex speaks some Swahili and then he's fast. Sometimes he finishes speaks and he's waiting for me to talk. And I'm like, I think all those Swahili words, he probably said everything he wanted to say. So, but I'm catching up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good run. It's been a week. Monday was disaster. I was like, wow, did I make the right decision?
Yeah.
But by Wednesday, I was getting the hang of it. Today was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, today?
And the
Was it
audience
because
is
it was a
pretty
Friday?
welcoming. No.
Yeah.
As in, I'm getting to catch up with his Swahili.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the Swahili bit is it?
Kwanzaa, he's from Coast and he speaks really fast.
Is that a new challenge for you?
Yeah, it's a challenge, but everything in life is a challenge. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the part of you where you do voiceovers.
Yes.
You want, actually, if not the top, arguably the topmost voiceover artist we have in the country today. What's that business like?
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You have to start and then you go through the market until you cut your niche and then things are good.
How did you start that side of you? Is it after radio or before?
No. Well, I started first by imitating people. Then now when I got into radio, my cousin used to do voiceovers and he used to make good money. So I said, I'll try it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it took maybe like 2-3 years before I got my first voiceover. So like that's around 2009.
So nothing comes easy.
Wait, kwanza for
Radio,
me.
6
Kwanza
years,
for me.
voiceover, 2 years.
You go for auditions over and over and over again. And I tell myself, okay, I'm already here. I might as well just wait until it comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
you waited 2 years. What was it like? Was it a big deal? Was it something you started small at? Because, some voiceover artists, all they want to know, all they want to do is just have their voice on something so they can use that as a selling point for something else. Was it your experience as well, or you started with something mega, a project that was big, and from then on it just kicked off your voiceover
it was
career?
just one of those ads too. It's nothing really serious.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got the first and then because you can have a good voice, but now making someone believe and want to buy that product is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're saying, hapa ni unasikiliza KTN. Is there no who's going to buy into the... Yeah, so unasikiliza
Depends.
KTN. Like, wow, that sounds nice. You get? Yeah, so you learn the art of intonation and saying that story.
So you talked about imitating voices. Which ones?
I can do a
Excluding
really
mine.
good Barack Obama. I must say that Michelle ain't around today. So if you're free later on, I'd like to take you somewhere. Say yes.
So do you bring out the unimaginable side? Because would you actually think Obama would say words like that?
You know the thing with imitating someone is if you sound exactly like them and say something they wouldn't say,
Yeah.
that's when now it becomes a
It
bit...
becomes fun.
Yeah.
All right, so there's Barack Obama, and then there's Jeff Koinange.
Oh my, what a day, what a story. Folks, sit back, relax. Look at my eyes and you realize that I can hypnotize. Oh my.
Whoa, you're the voice behind the XYZ
Yeah,
show,
I'm
right?
Kev Joinange.
Oh, wow. So with all this that's coming your way, all these opportunities that come your way because you're a voiceover artist, you imitate voices as well. There is actually, my director is reminding me that there's another professor.
Jackton J. Omolo, the elixir and maestro of all things luxurious.
Okay, now that was a whisper. Can you raise your voice?
Professor Jackton J. Omolo, the maestro and elixir of all things luxurious.
In fact, my chopper is the one that is making noise outside. I want to chase them away. I hope it's not interrupting with your viewing.
Oh, and so, you have created these voices
Yeah.
and created a personality, but people know that it's you who does it.
Yeah, I try to make sure people know.
Of course, you make
Yes.
sure people know. So when you interact with people who know that you do this, and they probably want to do the same thing that you're doing, what would you say to them? What do you usually say to them?
Well, I tell you, you just have to keep doing it until you become perfect. Like the first time I did a Jeff Koinange, the people even sneering like, Nick, just, at that time I used to do a very good Otieno Kajwang.
Yeah. Oh, do you still do?
But I know it's passed on, so I don't get lots of opportunities to imitate him, but I can.
Yes. Go ahead.
Tuko hapa tunasikiliza tu KTN na itakuwa mapambano baadaye.
I used to do that for the girlfriend a lot.
Pikara kama kutakuwa na mapambano.
Yeah.
She like cooks for me. So
Have you tried the President Uhuru?
No, his voice is not in the same range.
It's not in the same range.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's not that easy. There I'm doing it, it looks easy, but it takes practice.
What about Baba?
And then everyone can do.
Oh.
All Jangos. In fact, from the day you're born.
Not all of them, by the way.
You know the trick with Nani is to sound like a kid who is, like that you can tell a kid, go and play outside, go and eat your food. That's exactly how. I now have been banned from going to Kisumu immediately. I don't need Kisumu. Sawa. You're like, wow, what did he say? 2017.
Okay, all right, okay. I hope I'm not also burned as well. But tell us about you and what you want to do, say, in the next 5 years, 10 years. Yeah.
Well, with animation becoming easy, I'd like to do cartoons and leave the kids with something to, they'll be like, wow, I want to be like Nick one day, because, kids need inspiration. We don't want kids to look up to people. All they do is, that thing where chicks all pose like this, you're like, oh no. Then all kids want to be like them. That's messed up. The boy child needs an actual role model.
Yeah.
Right here. So I'd like to do animation, voiceovers for animations. Then I'd like to do the Bible. Just leave the audio. For women,
Oh,
just to
yeah?
be listening to audiobook. What's it because it's a Biblia? Oh, Father who art in heaven. So I just leave that place.
Well,
I'm full of
you just
myself
have you have the wildest imaginations. Honestly, the wildest. If you're actually thinking of doing the Bible
Yes.
specifically for the ladies to listen.
Which man will be sitting down listening to a man's voice like, leo siwezi kama nje nasikiza Bible. It's a bit off, so I'll do it for the ladies.
Do you ever think maybe you also are going to, because right now the trend I think that we are seeing is almost every media personality, especially radio personalities, are having online channels, YouTube channels and Facebook and Twitter and things like that. They're all over the place,
Yes.
But you personally have sort of stayed away from that. Is there a reason why?
Well, it's something you just try and get into. So I've been trying, after I did the professor character, I figured I'd use it. So I've got something called Fine Living.
Yes.
So then I try to do, I sell experiences, luxury experiences. So for the moment I'm doing restaurants and hotels, as we still try to figure out how to go about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what you think you're going to be doing over and over again?
Yeah, all characters will have something they do. So
Yeah.
I just have to. I've got an aunt where there's one who does. It's called Japolo. He acts on anti-boss. So he's this guy who's got like a school for teaching house helps, nini. So that will do something else. Professor will do something else.
Yeah.
As you can see, Kef Joinange hosts a TV show. Yeah, so that's what the plan is.
So of all these myriad of things that you do, there's the radio presenter, Nick Odhiambo, then there's Kef,
Yeah.
and then you have Professor, then you have, all these other personalities, including voicing over
Yes.
or being a voiceover artist. Which one of them do you feel most at home at? Is it the radio presenter? Is it the imitator? Is it the voiceover artist?
I think it depends on the time of the day. Like if you're
Yeah.
called for a VO, like right now, so I get into VO mode. You get what I'm saying?
You switch
The-
on.
Yeah. So you go, you deliver. It's nice. You wait for the paycheck. And you're like, wow, 5 minutes of work. You know what
Do
I
you
mean?
guys have low moments? Because on radio, it's always a good day. The weather forecast is
Yeah.
always right. So, do you have low moments?
We do have low moments, but like when I joined Classic, mine used to tell me, no matter how bad your day is, when you get to the studio, leave all your problems at the door there, get in, do a perfect show. When you're done, pick your problems and continue the day. So, but remember to leave them outside the door.
But isn't it normal for you to just say, "Okay, I'm having a bad day today"?
No, no,
On
no, no,
radio.
no, no. And who's going to allow you in their studio? And now, like here, the Mdosi here, you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Hey, you'll be fired. You go and just have a bad year.
All right. There's so many questions for you here, but I
Why
guess
don't you ask me for my phone number, sweetie?
no thanks. All right. The people here who are asking, their parents. I think this is. Martin is saying their parents who think radio presentation is not a serious business. Being a voiceover artist is probably not something you should even take up as a career, or maybe
Ay,
even
ay, ay.
imitations. What would you say to parents like those?
Well, things have changed. I mean, you know, after maybe like 10, 15 years ago, that's when the market started opening. If you're good at being a radio presenter, the higher your ratings.
Yeah.
And the higher ratings, the more you can charge clients to advertise on that show. And when you become indispensable, the more you demand from your boss. You understand? That's how it works.
Okay.
Then now, like, what do you call it? Like voiceover.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when you're not really good, there's people will be, you know, you'll fight for jobs and everything. Maybe someone couldn't make it, then you're the backup plan. But as you get better at it, clients will be like, no, I want Nick to do my ad. How much does he charge? Then you're like, let's see, what can I charge? So then you come up with a figure, and then now you just keep adding it.
Is it
So-
always hard for you to come up with figures for a business like that, where it's not cast in stone what your rates are, what your rate card is
no,
like?
you make it something that's realistic. I mean, I can't tell you a million bob for a 30-second ad, and the person who's supposed to approve it
Yeah.
gets 80,000 per month. You know, they look at it like this guy's going nuts. But you see, eventually,
Yeah.
you get there as you build your brand. You get?
All right.
I'm not here charging a million, but wait, one day,
Really? Are you sure?
hey, yeah, the day I'm charging a million. Hey.
Okay, anyway, who knows? Maybe that's what you asked for at Radio Malaysia, so we're not so sure. All right, as we wind up, we're also having someone here who is saying, you said your father was a diplomat.
Yes.
What was his reaction to your taking up this career?
You know, back in the day, all parents used to want their kids to be either a lawyer, a doctor. What's the third one? Accountant, one of those. So I was being asked, Nick, so what do you want to be? This time I say a lawyer, the next time an accountant. You just have to tell him what he wants to hear.
Yeah.
But so I kept on trying and trying and trying until finally, I had all these manual jobs, telemarketing and all that nonsense. But eventually I got this and I was like,
You
wow.
call it nonsense. Now it's nonsense, yeah?
Of course it was. I used to hate that job, but you know, you just have to go to Jobo.
Yeah.
In fact, I was fired from one from telling the boss. He's like, so how do you feel? You know, the employee interaction. I was like, oh, I'm glad you asked. I hate this job. Where? The following week, I was shown the door. I was like, why would you do this to me? And I was being honest. Yeah. But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Those jobs that you look at as manual and starting off in life actually do help you in the future. Because now the telemarketing needs to help me now call my future employer to find out, wait, what's the plan? Am I coming back for an interview?
Right.
Yeah.
So do you consider doing TV?
Yes, I want to get into TV.
Yeah. You want to do
Yeah.
anchoring? Anchoring, presentation,
Yeah, it's like a mixture.
like a mixture of the two, yeah?
Yeah. Isn't
All right.
it the same thing?
So do you want me to? Do I audition you right now?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, let's do it.
Are you the one who
Let's see.
approves if people get
I
the
just don't know if you'll be allowed to read news with dreadlocks because
No, no, no,
I
I'm
don't know. I
willing to
haven't
chop the
seen male
dreads.
anchors with dreadlocks around.
No,
By the way,
no, take
what's
you-
the science behind your dreadlocks? Is there wisdom in it? and
No,
stuff?
if you go to Facebook, there's like 3,000 Nick Odhiambos and Nick
Okay.
Otieno. I think it's a very popular name, that's why.
And then this cousin you keep referring to.
It's
who's
called
he?
Edward Quach.
Okay, you didn't think that his name needed to be put out there.
You didn't ask me, we're focusing on me.
Let's audition you this time and see how you're going to do on this one. So I'm sure you're familiar with this thing. If you are doing voices for Kef, you probably know how this thing goes. So I'm just going to give you the script. When that thing goes black, you know this is your backup. So let's see the story you're going to be reading, diseases. All right, okay, so let's see. It's right here. It's right here. Legend mechanic. So should that thing not go as you want it to go, then you know you have backup. So you're going to introduce yourself, turn yourself right, upright, just how we organize ourselves. I just want to see if you're going to beat us at this thing of ours. So we can probably ask Mr. Sam Shule if he would consider having you as a
As a
weekend anchor, probably graveyard.
No problem. Job any job.